It came to light for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube.
I'm not the type of dude that you can come up on like
Bro,
this.
listen, we out here to
What
get
kind of
content.
content
You're
you
not
want?
gonna tell me what to do.
You can't come up on me.
Bro, listen.
If you come up on me, I'm gonna knock you the f out.
That's what I say.
You gonna
That's
do
what
what?
I say. That's what I say.
Bro.
That's what I say. No, bro.
What did I do?
What did you do to him first inside the courtroom?
Lady.
What did you do to Mr. Gene Deal inside the courtroom right before my eyes? And why did I have to get in your face like this and tell you to step back from him? Why did I have to stand in front of Mr. Deal behind me and tell you to back up off of him?
Because it was two men handling business.
And then what happened? But what happened?
That's for me to know.
But what did you do? So why are you not telling the truth? My name is Candor. I'm transparent. I'm true. Candor. But you didn't have the same energy with him when he came outside either.
When he came outside, he left.
Man,
yo.
get out of here.
He left. He left, yo. What are you talking?
Gene Deal has been catching heat from Diddy's loyal fans ever since he decided to speak out. The hate isn't just online, it's personal. Every time he drops another truth bomb, there's a wave of people trying to shut him down, calling him bitter, jealous, or just straight up lying. But Gene says he's telling it exactly how it went down, no sugarcoating. This time, the backlash hit hard. After recent comments, Diddy's supporters came at him in full force, flooding his socials, throwing shade, and even trying to intimidate him. And to make it worse, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. In Gene's eyes, it's clear. Whenever you speak against Puff, you're gonna have to deal with the storm that follows. And right now, Gene's standing in the middle of it. Inside the courtroom, things got heated fast. Gene says he watched Diddy's people walk right up on him, close enough to feel the tension. That's when another man, Kanar, stepped in. He looked them dead in the eye and asked, what did he do to him first? What did you do to Mr. Gene Deal inside the courtroom, right in front of me? Kanar says he had no choice but to put himself between them, telling them to back up. It was two men handling business, and you were crossing the line, he recalled. But even after that, the air was thick with hostility. The way Gene tells it, this wasn't just a random moment. This was intimidation playing out in real time in a place where it never should have happened. And it left everyone wondering, if this is how bold they are in court, what happens outside those walls? Gene claims this isn't just about a single courtroom run-in, it's part of a long history. According to him, Diddy has sent people his way before, whether to intimidate or straight up silence him. It's the same playbook every time. Apply pressure, create fear, and hope the other person shuts up. He says the order doesn't always come directly from Puff's mouth, it's passed through certain people who handle business for him. But the effect is the same. A message gets sent loud and clear. For Gene, these moments bring back memories of past encounters, times when he says Diddy's presence loomed even without him being in the room. And now seeing it happen again, Gene believes it's proof that Puff's not ready to let old grudges die. Gene isn't the only one who's been in Puff's crosshairs. Katt Williams, never shy about calling out the industry, has stepped in to publicly back Gene. Katt says he's seen the same tactics used before, where people suddenly face problems after speaking up. Both men point to past situations where Diddy's circle allegedly moved on people in ways that sent a clear warning. It's not always fists or violence. Sometimes it's making sure you get blacklisted. Sometimes it's shadowy encounters that leave you feeling watched. For Gene, Katt's support isn't just friendship. It's proof that he's not imagining things. Others have lived it too. And when the stories start lining up from different people, you can't help but wonder how many more are keeping quiet because they don't want that same pressure coming their way. Gene and Katt say this isn't just their fight. It's a pattern that's touched plenty of other people. They point to Tissa, who allegedly faced heavy pressure after falling out with Puff. Then there's Jamie Foxx, whose recent health scare has fueled speculation in the rumor mill about whether certain people wanted him silenced. Keefe D's name comes up too, someone with his own deep ties to hip-hop history, now caught in legal trouble that some claim might be connected to bigger industry moves. And Big Homie CC? He's been vocal about the politics behind the scenes, claiming there's a quiet system that rewards loyalty to Puff and punishes anyone who steps out of line. To Gene, these names aren't random. They're proof of a wider web. A network where if you cross the wrong person, you might find yourself dealing with heat from all directions, even if it never gets traced back on paper. When court was over, Gene thought the tension might cool down, but as soon as they stepped outside, things got even more uncomfortable. He says Diddy's people were still hovering, watching him closely, like they were waiting for the right moment to make a move. Kanar remembers it clearly. He says he noticed the same faces lingering nearby, and while they didn't lay hands on Gene, their presence was loud enough. They didn't have that same energy inside, but once we were outside, it was a different story, Kanar pointed out. To Gene, it felt like a silent warning. No shouting, no pushing, just a lingering stare that said everything without a word. And for someone who's seen the darker side of this industry, that kind of quiet can sometimes be more threatening than an outright confrontation. For Gene, this whole ordeal wasn't just a personal run-in. It was a glimpse into the shadow play that runs the industry. He says there's an unspoken rule. If you're in, you're protected. If you speak out, you're on your own. Loyalty is rewarded, silence is valued, and stepping out of line comes with consequences that rarely leave a paper trail. And Katt Williams echoes that sentiment, warning that fear has kept too many mouths shut. The way they see it, people aren't just scared of losing money, they're scared of losing their place in the machine entirely. Careers can vanish, calls can stop coming, and suddenly doors that were wide open slam shut overnight. And that's the point Gene keeps coming back to. What happened in and outside that courtroom isn't just about him. It's about a culture of intimidation that's been normalized for so long, most people don't even question it anymore. But for those willing to speak up, like him and Katt, the hope is that breaking the silence might finally start to break the cycle. If you've been following this story and want to hear more about the truths, rumors, and unspoken rules shaping the industry, make sure you hit that like button so more people see it. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next chapter in this saga might drop when you least expect it, and you won't want to miss it.
Yo, man, K, you cool, man? How you doing?
I'm
tonight,
cooler than a fan. They took my children from me.
Yeah, I mean,
how terrible is that?
I did want to ask. The cops, allegedly found some guns and.
Yeah, they always find guns. I never leave without.
My girlfriend.
I'm on the middle of an interview, sir.
Sorry about. Yo, they found guns and drugs now.
Drugs?
That's what it was reported.
Sir, you can look at my paperwork. There was no drugs. Weed is not a drug.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's safe for kids to be around guns and stuff like that? I mean, I'm just curious.
How do you keep this kid safe without guns? They were in a lockbox that the police broke.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm saying, if the police come in and raid my place and break into my gun boxes, you're gonna find guns. But these aren't. Well, I'm not in a gang. What difference does it make?
Now, you were actually stopped for this and let go. Because you have a license for it,
No,
right?
This is their 9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office. Not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office,
that's an issue.
I must be
the
most terrible black.
Katt's life has been in danger since the 2000s. Katt used to sleep in a Kevlar vest.
Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on. In bed.
Holler. I hit dog will holler. I hit dog will holler. So listen, let me just tell you something, right? Because this is an interesting point that Lovely T actually point out. All the people with money, power, influences, Diddy's equal. They refuse to come and support this man because they know something was wrong. But there are a million broke, dusty, desperate, bitch-ass men out here trying to bully women. It was a travesty. It was an all-out circus. Everybody, including myself, are running to safety.
I've got a question for you, Tisa Tales, and everyone's going to want to know this. You're in a car right now. You had to leave the courthouse. Why?
I had to leave the courthouse because Diddy's supporters were out of control. The first time I ran and did my live, of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people in the courthouse is like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It wasn't just me, but I'll tell you what I experienced. Diddy's supporters surrounding me, threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation. It got so bad and there was so much chaos and violence that they actually had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy supporters across the street. It was something myself, the news media, mainstream media, new media have never seen in their lives. The level, and again, the jurors, I hope to God they know how to sleep at night. Because again, I'm sure they did their duty. But when all that chaos was happening, as I was being threatened and ushered out by armed security people, I thought, this is what the jury did. They sent a signal that it is okay to use violence. It's okay.
What happens with exposures? You make yourself vulnerable to all kinds of attacks, seen and unseen. What happened to my friend? When he passed away, there was $250,000 on my head and $150,000 on his. But what if I had decided to go back with my head held low and said, Sean, I'm willing to play the game, and then found a way to get inside of him and move him around?
This sounds familiar. You know, along this path, I've been poisoned 3 times. My toxicology report showed cyanide, and you know, cyanide metabolizes into pneumonia in your body. So I've had pneumonia on 3 occasions. You know, and these problems didn't start for me until I started to speak out about people like this. You know, it's been a hard time to line up this interview because the last time I was scheduled to be in this interview, randomly, our car gets hit from the side by a blacked out vehicle. No license plate. That's happened 3 times this month so far.
Really?
Somebody didn't want me to do this interview. Yeah, somebody didn't want me to do this interview. You know, I'm somebody where I've had FBI come to my house before and tell me they found a threat against my life. So, you know, I'm well versed in this world. But, you know, I got round the clock security. One of them was sitting right here with me right now. This is a dangerous game people are playing, and it's a good feeling for me to see the justice system prevail, and some people deserve retribution.
You clearly feel that Sean Combs, over the years, has made people disappear.
Right. Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. Have I gone to the wrong place? I looked at the end of a tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on, or was that Puffy?
Gene says the system doesn't always come at you head on. It's not always fists in an alley or a shouting match in front of cameras. Sometimes it's subtler, an event you're suddenly uninvited from, a call from a friend telling you to lay low, or a whisper campaign that leaves people questioning whether they should work with you. Katt points out that this kind of control isn't random, it's calculated. A little discomfort here, a career setback there, all designed to remind you who really calls the shots. And once you've been marked, you start noticing the invisible walls closing in. That's why so many stay quiet, not because they don't have a story, but because they know the cost of telling it. Gene and Katt both agree. What really keeps this machine running isn't just the people behind the scenes, it's the media that chooses which stories get oxygen and which ones die quietly. They say certain outlets will run glowing coverage no matter what, while others suddenly go silent when something controversial happens. Katt explains that this silence can be as damaging as a hit piece. If the only version of you that reaches the public is the one carefully curated by someone else's PR team, the truth doesn't stand a chance. And when journalists or influencers do try to speak out, they risk losing access. Interviews get canceled, invites dry up, and ad deals disappear. To Gene, this isn't an accident. It's a chessboard. And media figures are just another set of pieces. The ones who play along get promoted, the ones who don't get pushed to the margins until the audience forgets they were ever part of the game. Gene says those moments are rare, but they do happen. Every once in a while, someone stands their ground, refuses to bend, and somehow still comes out on top. It's not luck, it's usually a mix of public support, undeniable talent, and the right allies who are willing to take the risk of standing beside them. Katt remembers watching artists and insiders break through the blockade by going straight to their audience. No middleman, no watered-down version of the truth, just raw, unfiltered connection. And once the public is on your side, it's a lot harder for the machine to shut you down quietly. But both of them agree even those victories come at a cost. The person might still lose endorsements, lose friends in the business, and live under constant pressure. The difference is they've taken back control of their own story, and in this industry, that's worth more than any chart position or award. Gene believes change will only come when enough people inside the system decide that silence costs more than speaking out. He says it's not just about one person being brave, it's about a collective shift where the gatekeepers no longer have the power to destroy someone for telling the truth. Katt adds that real change needs three things: transparency, independence, and protection. Transparency means no more backroom deals that rewrite history. Independence means artists and insiders building their own platform so they can speak without fear of being shut down. And protection means legal and financial safety nets for those who put themselves on the line. Both of them know it won't happen overnight. The system thrives on fear, and fear is hard to break. But if enough people stop playing by the old rules, they believe the whole game could change. And once it does, it might never go back to the way it was. If you've been following this story from start to finish, you know it's more than just celebrity drama. It's about power, control, and the cost of telling the truth. Gene and Katt aren't just speaking for themselves, they're speaking for everyone who's ever been told to stay quiet or play along. If you believe stories like this need to be heard, then help keep the conversation alive. Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Every share, every comment, every subscription makes it harder for the truth to be buried. Because in a world where silence protects the powerful, your voice and your attention are part of the resistance.
Worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I could bodyguard myself with his blessings. I could bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene gotta be worried, so like that. So, shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried. Yo, bro, August the 14th, 1999. High-speed chase in Harlem. You understand? How I didn't know that he didn't send nobody after me then. Because niggas do that shit. They'll send somebody at you. I've seen dudes that do shit and they have niggas right there in the same clique and they didn't even know he did it. So how I know those 4 guys, 5 guns to my head wasn't sitting by him. When Roger Bonds come and say later that Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal. How I know?
That Diddy tried to silence you or tried to get you to stop talking about him.
This is relayed to me by Kirk Burrows. This guy is like this with Diddy. You seen him on Drink Champs with him. You see him walking the streets in Miami with him, the whole 9 yards. So I'm saying to him, what does he want to talk to me for? He ain't got enough to say, he ain't got nothing to say to me. He said, yo, Gene, he said enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough to what? And I told Kirk Burrows, yo, if he want I said, he don't want to talk to me for himself. He wants to talk to me for Diddy. And I ain't got nothing to say to him. He ain't said enough to Wolf's mother when he cursed her out and told her all kinds of shit. Did he say enough to Big's mother? What do you mean enough is enough? And that's how that conversation went.
How did you feel about it after you were done?
I felt that, like, cause they must have got at Kirk Burrows, cause Kirk called me with the bullshit. Yo, you gotta fix that. You know this, man. God, excuse me. Listen here, bro. I don't care nothing about none of these industry cats and what they do and how they do it. That's their business. You understand? I don't tell a man how to screw his wife and how to spend his money. You don't tell me what I gotta do with my time. Point blank.
Do you feel like at some point Diddy could try to come after you or do something, you know, being that he's went after a lot of people, he's did a lot of stuff.
Diddy ordered a hit on the people exposing him, and that's why people were calling Gene Deal and warning him.
And you right about Diddy's phone being tapped, because news came out that his former bandmate from Dirty Money, she called the other group member Dunn 58 times trying to get her to stop the lawsuit against Diddy.
She ain't the only one he was trying to get in contact with. You understand? He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough. Oh, okay. You tell Big Mama that enough is enough. You can't tell Wolf Mama enough is enough. You tell D Ferg Mama enough is enough. You understand? You tell all those people who supported you and they survivors, enough is enough.
You didn't tell me about this. So he tried to get somebody to reach out to you?
No, I got a phone call from Kirk Burrows. And Kirk Burrows, and I ain't gonna even get this guy no play. Not Kirk Burrows, but one of the Puff dudes that I know that's real close to him said, Kirk told me, yo, he wanna reach out to you, Gene. He wanna speak to you. I said, speak to me for what? What do you want to speak to me for? If he's trying to speak to me, it's for Puff. Point blank. I know the dude. I know how close he is to Puff. He's been with Puff from day one. So he ain't got nothing to say to me, bro. But Kirk Burrows did say to me that the dude said enough is enough. When do it becomes enough?
Cassie, just go ahead and move out the country, baby. Pack a little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Cause if you think Sean and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of him, at the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend every time somebody see him. Like I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean's gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the feds. You see his kids dancing around, they don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as shit. I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch on my knees for my father to save me when nobody else would. So I don't know what P. Diddy getting out. But me, personally, you took 30 million from me, I would advise you to I would get out and tell you